2022 has been a great year for HomeKit. Many new smart devices have been released, including the new Eve outdoor floodlight camera, which is the very first floodlight camera native to HomeKit, a ton of Thread-enabled devices, including ones from Eve and Belkin, along with a completely redesigned Home app by Apple to control them all. So with all these new HomeKit devices available, which ones have been my favorite and most useful to me over the past year? So in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 10 favorite HomeKit products of 2022. Now, not all the devices in this video came out this year. Some came out a couple of years ago, and all the devices in this video are native to HomeKit, which means that you will not need a third-party bridge like Hoops to get these devices into the Apple Home app. In order for a device to qualify for Adam's top 10 HomeKit products of 2022 list, it has to meet 3 requirements. Number 1, does it enhance the quality of mine and my wife's life? Does this device make our life easier, and is it worth having? Number 2, is it easy to use? My wife likes having a smart home, but things have to be very easy for her to use. If it's way too complicated, then she's not going to want to use the products. And number 3, is this device established? Is this device reliable, or does it often have issues and create more problems than it's worth? These devices are in order from least ranked to best ranked according to these 3 requirements. And number 1 is my top HomeKit product for 2022. And it's not the device that you're probably thinking of. Starting off at the bottom of the list, number 10 is the UV pan and tilt camera. With this camera, my wife and I are able to check up on our 2 dogs while we're away. My wife loves being able to talk to them and use the panning features to look around the room and see where they're at. And I like that it works in the Apple Home app. I can see the live feed and our other cameras as well, all in one app. The UV pan and tilt camera works with HomeKit Secure Video, though it does not have support for two-way talk, just viewing and hearing the audio. The live feed loads quickly and works well in HomeKit. Number 9 on this list is a HomeKit TV. This is just a regular smart TV that supports Apple's HomeKit, meaning you're able to control the power, the input, and even rename the inputs from the Apple Home app, which does get synced to the TV itself. The TV and the volume can also be controlled from your phone. My wife likes being able to just tell Siri to turn the TV on and off instead of using the remote. Though Siri is not able to change the inputs of the TV via voice, only turn it on and off. Now, unfortunately, I have had some reliability issues with this TV in HomeKit. About once or twice a month, I would get the no response message in HomeKit, and usually just restarting the TV or the internet or unplugging the TV and plugging it back in fixes the issue. Though I have heard this to be an issue with the majority of HomeKit compatible smart TVs and not a brand specific issue. Speaking of TVs, on the back of my TV is product number 8 on this list, the Onvis Chameleon K1 light strip. I have these light strips on the back of all my TVs, and this provides a much more immersive viewing experience. So like if I'm watching a movie that's underwater, like Finding Nemo, then I can change the light strip to blue and makes it feel like you're underwater. My wife is a huge fan of this, and we use this every time we watch something. Now, what really makes this light strip shine is the fact that it's an addressable light strip, which means that multiple colors can be painted on this light strip at one time, instead of just a single color on a non-addressable light strip. And having an addressable light strip allows you to create some really awesome effects. Like during the holidays, you can make it a split red and green color, or the security scene that flashes red, white, and blue. These special effects and painting multiple colors at once can only be created in the Onvis app, which is fairly easy to do, and you can sync these to HomeKit to use in your scenes or automations. The light strip is easy to change the colors and the brightness in the Home app as well. It's a very affordable light strip that works well in the Home app. And speaking of lights, number 7 on this list is the Lutron Smart Switch. Lutron replaces your light switch, so you can keep your existing light fixture and make your light smart. My wife liked the design of these lights in our bedroom, but I wanted to control it from my phone. So with the Lutron light switch, we're able to control the power and the brightness from the Apple Home app. Lutron also makes this tiny Pico remote that you can use to adjust the power and the brightness of this light with this remote, so you don't have to use your phone. Lutron does require the Lutron bridge to get this into HomeKit, and the light switch talks to the bridge using Lutron's Clear Connect wireless protocol. Essentially a much more reliable connection than connecting over Wi-Fi. Another great option for a light switch is one by Aqara. They aren't able to dim your lights, only the power can be controlled, so turning it on and off. So I use these in areas that only need a light to turn on and off, like a laundry room. Now, I have been using the Aqara smart switch in my smart home for a couple of months now, and I've not had any issues. Another device that I've not had many issues with is number 6 on this list, Maris smart plugs. I have smart plugs all around my house to make basic things smart, like a lamp or a phone charger. This way, everything can be controlled from the Home app or with Siri. My wife likes being able to tell Siri to turn on a fan with just her voice, instead of having to get up and turn it on manually. Maris has been my go-to smart plug brand for a couple of years now because they are affordable, quick to respond when turned on and off, and have been very reliable in my Apple smart home. These do connect over Wi-Fi and do not use Thread. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Adam, why are you not using a Thread-enabled smart plug? Don't you know that Thread is faster and more reliable than Wi-Fi? Well, you're totally right. However, in my personal experience, I have found this not to be the case. I've reviewed many Thread-compatible devices on this channel, including ones by Eve and Nanoleaf, and found them to often be slower to respond and less reliable than Wi-Fi connected devices, even with a required HomePod mini or the Apple TV nearby. Not every brand that uses Thread I've had issues with, just a majority of them. So because of this, I prefer smart plugs that connect over Zigbee, so with Aqara, or Wi-Fi like with Maris. Now we're entering the top 5 of my top 10 favorite HomeKit products of this year, and this is where things get good. And speaking of getting good, Ekster, who is sponsoring today's video, just launched their Christmas bundles where you can save big, like up to 40% big on their most popular items. They sent over a couple of items from these bundles, and boy, we got some great stuff in here. It comes in a nice gift bag to hold all of your goodies. Inside, there's a classic high quality Ekster wallet. You can choose the material from aluminum or leather and a color that you like best. These wallets have a unique quick release button on the side to fan out all of your cards to make it super quick and easy to grab the card you need right away. Some bundles include a key case to keep your keys nice and organized. There's a multi-tool card in this bundle as well, and it's made from stainless steel with 8 useful features, including a bottle opener, a built-in flathead screwdriver, wrenches, and US and metric inch rulers. A really cool item in this bundle is a metal cash clip, and this will hold all your cash and some of your cards. Get up to 40% off Ekster wallets this holiday sale when you use my link shop.ekster.com/AdamsTechLife or my discount code AdamsTechLife. And a huge thanks to Ekster for sponsoring today's video. And now onto my top 5 favorite HomeKit products of 2022, starting with number 5, the HomePod Mini. With Siri being built into this speaker, it makes it very easy for my wife and I to not only ask Siri basic questions like what's the weather, we can also control our smart home with our voice. You can ask Siri to control lights or smart plugs. In fact, Siri can control multiple devices at once if they're in the same room in the Apple Home app. My wife's favorite feature of the HomePod Mini is the intercom feature. I will often get up early before my wife does, and she'll intercom to my office to tell me that she's awake and ready for coffee, and I can intercom back to say that I'm on my way. Now, one of my favorite features of the HomePod Mini is that whenever you're listening to music, which sounds incredible by the way, you can easily transfer what's playing on your HomePod now and send it to a HomePod in a different room, or just have Siri play music all throughout the house. This way, say if I'm in my office listening to music and I want to make lunch in the kitchen and still keep listening to the music, I can send it to the HomePod in the kitchen and make lunch with music in the background. One pretty big feature about the HomePod Mini is that it can act as a HomeKit hub for your smart devices. A HomeKit hub is needed to run automations and see the status and control devices remotely. To take this to the next level, the HomePod Mini also has Thread built in and acts as a border router, which is what is needed for any Thread-compatible smart device. Number 4 is the Apple TV, which is my streaming box of choice and another great option for HomeKit. It works incredibly well with the other Apple devices, so like when you're watching a show or a movie on the Apple TV, then playback controls appear right on your lock screen. So you can easily play, pause, rewind, or even control the TV volume if your TV supports HDMI ARC. My wife loves being able to do this straight from her phone without having to find the remote. Now what's even easier is that if you have a HomePod Mini and an Apple TV in the same room in the Apple Home app, then you can actually use the HomePod Mini to control your Apple TV. Like being able to tell Siri to play, to pause, to rewind, to skip ahead, and even turn on the captions. Some of my favorite features of the Apple TV are being able to view a live feed of all of your security cameras at once. You're able to control smart home devices from the remote or using Siri, and even create automations with a Siri shortcut to ask you what app to open, then automatically open that app for you. I've made a video on how to do this, and I'll leave that right up here and also down in the description below. The Apple TV can also be a very reliable home HomeKit hub. Some Apple TV models support Thread as well, so if you have any Thread compatible devices, then the Apple TV can help extend the Thread network or be your board router. Number 3 is the Aqara door and window sensor. As tiny as this device is, it's actually made a huge impact in my smart home in day-to-day use. I use a contact sensor every day in automations to control lights. So when my bedroom door is opened early in the morning, then lights are at a warm white at a dim brightness, but if the door is open during the day, then the lights will be a bright white. I also use a contact sensor outside on a back gate to alert me when the back gate is either opened, closed, and if it's been open for 5 minutes. If you're using a contact sensor outside, make sure to have a weatherproof enclosure to protect the sensor. I'm using this one designed specifically by Derek from Princepower Designs on Etsy.com that I will leave linked down in the description below. My wife loves being able to see if a door is open or closed straight from the Apple Home app, but her favorite way is to ask Siri if a specific door is open or closed without having to get up or use the Apple Home app. Aqara has been my favorite brand for a contact sensor because it connects over Zigbee. Now, an Aqara hub is required to use this sensor, which I don't mind because Zigbee allows for very fast response times, very long battery life, and longer overall range than connected over Wi-Fi, which is especially helpful if you want to use a contact sensor outside and need the extra range from the Aqara hub. And speaking of Aqara, number 2 on my list is the Aqara wireless mini switch. The Aqara wireless mini switch has made controlling devices way easier for not just me, but also my wife and other guests. There are 3 different types of presses that you can do with this mini switch to control your devices: a single press, a double press, and a press and hold. And all these attributes are exposed in the Apple Home app. I have a lot of these mini switches scattered all throughout my house, and here's a couple of my favorite ways that I like to use them. I have one near my front door, and a single press turns off everything in the house. So on my way out, I can quickly single press this button and everything in the entire house will turn off. My wife likes how easy it is to turn everything off as well. I have one under my kitchen counter that a single press turns on the lights and a double press turns off the lights. And I have another one in my bedroom that a double press runs a night scene that turns off certain accessories and sets the temperature the way that I like it to be, and I'm off to sleep. This mini switch connects over Zigbee, so response times are ultra fast, and an Aqara hub is required to use this device. The Aqara wireless mini switch is an inexpensive way to make it very easy for you and for others to control your smart home. Now, what's not inexpensive is my number 1 pick for the best HomeKit device of 2022. And the number 1 device on this list is the, drumroll please, the Schlage Encode Plus Smart Lock. I've really only been using this device for a couple of weeks now, but it's quickly become my wife and I's favorite HomeKit device of this year because of one key feature called HomeKey. HomeKey allows you to use your iPhone or your Apple Watch to unlock your door just by tapping your device on the smart lock without requiring a passcode. A digital key card appears in the Apple Wallet app, which is the same place that you store your credit cards, your loyalty cards, and other cards that you can use with Apple Pay via NFC. You can choose for the phone to require a passcode to unlock the door, or a less secure but more convenient option is enabling Express Mode and having your phone automatically unlock your door when the phone is nearby. Express Mode really comes in handy so you don't have to tap in a passcode each time you want to unlock the door. This is super helpful if you're carrying a bunch of groceries and you don't have a free hand to get out your phone. The Schlage Encode Plus connects over Thread, so it's going to be very fast to respond in the Apple Home app. My wife and I love the HomeKey feature, and that's why the Schlage Encode Plus is our top HomeKit device of 2022. Now, 2023 is going to be a crazy year for smart home devices because of a new smart home standard, Matter, that recently rolled out. With a Matter-compatible smart device, any smart device that you buy will automatically work with all smart home assistants, including Amazon, Google, and Apple, right out of the box. This means that there will be new device categories that work with HomeKit natively, like vacuums and appliances, and this is incredible. I'm so excited to see all the brand new HomeKit products that are coming out next year. What HomeKit products are in your top 10 for 2022? Let me know down in the description below, and I'll see y'all in the next video.